Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through and do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into these sectors, topics, individual companies. You can see my portfolio and what I'm buying, selling, and when I'm doing it. It's all on there. We've got a lot of training videos as well for technical analysis and stuff like that. And we have a coupon code, Mayday, that is still active, M-A-Y-D-A-Y, one word, if you want to sign up. So let's dive in there. Let's take a look and see what's going on today. Starting at the dollar, everything to me looks still intact for a higher dollar at this time. We've broken out of a lot of structures to the upside, like this structure there, broken to the upside, and then this other falling wedge that we've broken to the upside. So that still looks good to continue on upward. Usually what's driving the dollar upward is a tighter monetary policy than the other currencies. And we've seen some of the other currencies start to cut interest rates. So by us not cutting interest rates, at least not yet, we are stuck with the stronger dollar in relationship to those other currencies, which to me looks like that will most likely continue higher. Looking at interest rates, they are coming back a little bit today, not anything dramatically, but we're still in this big pattern. We are squeezing up in this pattern, and I'm interested to see which direction this eventually breaks. If we break lower, think of a slowdown potential in the system. If we break to the upside, think of it as oil kind of inflation and that inflation working its way through oil and the eventual increase of interest rates is what we've kind of seen historically. So the 2 year is still squeezing up. It still looks okay to go higher or lower in either direction. And I don't think there's a clear direction or trend yet as we're still in this consolidation pattern. The 10 year is doing the same thing. It's still consolidating. We're towards the lower end of that pattern here. And we do, to me, it looks like we've got a little bit of a squeeze going on, of a downward squeeze motion where we could break to the upside. But again, we'll see which direction that eventually breaks and which direction we break out of this consolidation pattern. The 30 year is doing the same thing. So on every time frame, it's all doing the same consolidation, squeezing pattern. We don't have a clear direction of which way it's going to break yet. TYX TNX ratio. Again, we're at a low location, generally good for precious metals when this goes and uninverts. Oops, put that back there. Scrolling in, squeeze it on up to the tops here. And we have today just a sideways action day. Nothing too important that has changed, at least yet. TLT bond prices still looking good, and we're still within the pattern. So, but this does look good to try to work its way on up. If I were to make a guess, we've got stronger buying pressure in bond prices overwhelming the sellers, and this does look like it could potentially go up, which means yields could go down if that were to break out of here. Coming down to gold down $33. Is this a return retest move? Or are we going to get further follow through to the downside? The pattern, a falling wedge, is generally good for a break to the upside. So you've got that going for it. But we do have a bearish engulfing pattern here and another one that showed up today, which is bearish to the downside. The question is, which direction are we going to go here in the short term? Tough call. If I were to guess, I would guess if we get interest rates going down, that we're going to go higher. If interest rates are going to go up, I think it's a headwind. We'll go sideways or maybe even slightly lower. Right now, we don't have a clear trend or direction. with interest rates, in my opinion, on the 2-year, 10-year, or any of those. So this is kind of meandering around, trying to find a clear direction, I think, based off of what yields are doing. And yields do not have a clear direction or trend. Silver also down 4%. We've got a falling wedge. And again, guys, generally speaking, falling wedges with a move up like that are generally bullish to go up, which then would indicate if silver and gold could trend higher based off of the break, we could see yields go down. We have bond prices that also look like they want to break to the upside. So we are premature to say that that trend isn't in place yet. But with the break of gold and silver to the upside, it makes me think that bond prices will trend higher and yields will trend lower, which is a definite possibility. Problem is, when you start looking at oil, if oil breaks to the upside, it makes me think that yields want to go up. So I think the market is really confused on which direction it wants to go, and we're getting a lot of volatility in the market, both to the upside and downside these past few weeks. Platinum looking pretty solid, up 1.2%. And we're right at that trend line break here, guys. We're looking for a break. And this could be a pretty explosive move because we've been consolidating for quite a long time here. Usually, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the break. Palladium, I know it had a pretty strong move this morning, but kind of died off towards the end of the day. We're back above support, and we've been just moving sideways here over this kind of longer term. Could be a downtrend line that you could perhaps fit in here. In case we do break that, we could get a little upsurge to the upside, which is a possibility if we do break it. XEU to gold ratio, I think, looks fantastic. Nice big bullish piercing on the weekly. We just finished this week off today. I think that looks great, and I'm bullish gold and silver mining companies. XAU is gold and silver mining companies divided by gold. We've broken the downtrend line. I think this is a huge opportunity here to accumulate gold and silver mining companies or royalty companies or whatever floats your boat in the space. Even physical metals, I think, will do well, but gold and silver mining companies is where the opportunity is based off where this ratio is located, us breaking the downtrend line, and how much room we have to grow against gold itself. GDX, so looking at those ETFs, that's broken to the upside. We are down today, but again, we've got a tightening, falling wedge slash flag pattern. It's broken to the upside. We have a little retest move today. I think we could run here. It's a possibility. GDXJ also looking pretty good. You can obviously throw a kind of a downward trend line there and put a lower one here. There's your flag pattern that we've been going, and we're looking for hopefully a break to the upside. We do have resistance above us, which is this horizontal line going across, and we're underneath that resistance line still. SILJ down a little bit as well, and getting a little bit of selling pressure today, down about 2.45%. But I would throw kind of a trend line kind of in this general vicinity there that we're almost about to clear if it can break it here in the short term. Crude oil down 0.8%. Backing out though, this still looks fantastic on a monthly candlestick basis to work its way on higher. I drew this here, and you could have a break and then the retest and then a move higher. Definitely a possibility there, but we're waiting for a clear break here at about, I'd say, $83 there. Let me see that, $83.50. We clear and break that, I'm going to get much more bullish than even what I am today, and I'm still really bullish. TTF gas down 1.7%, but the trend is still up. Still working its way on up, so that still looks good. We've got natural gas in America down at support. Hopefully we can get some support there. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me. You know, this still looks bearish, guys. I want to be long. Well, I am long, but I want to be as bullish as possible. But we've got this nice kind of selling pressure move right into what looks to be like an inverted flag pattern. So this could still head a little bit lower here in the short term. Um, could still move on lower here. We could see gold and silver move up. We could see yields go down. People get scared, positioning for a slowdown in the market, and maybe oil has a little bit of a move lower before that occurs. But again, that's short-term price movements, and they can change rather drastically very quickly. OIH is still hanging on there, but again, we don't have these big green candlesticks, and we still have these large red candlesticks that are hanging around all over the place here. The setup still looks a little bit bearish. It doesn't mean that you can't go higher from a setup that looks like this, but sentiment is still negative. We haven't seen the big buyers come in yet, is what I'm saying. We've got Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. That's also down a little bit today, down 1.22%. It's been kind of meandering just sideways ever since 2024 February. Forward here, it's just been meandering sideways, consolidating. URA down a little bit, but still above support, that long-term support line. Still looks good, but just no big move higher yet. URNM still above all of the support going across. Still looks good. Still holding on. And URNJ down a little bit today. Right on, I'll say real close to support. And we'll see if that holds. This could be an inverted flag pattern too, if it does punch out and go. So keep that in mind as well. Not that I'm trading anything, but just if you want to watch it. TAN down a little bit. We had lower yields today, a little bit stronger dollar, but still weakness showing up in TAN. I don't think TAN's very profitable, so not really doing much with this. Copper down a little bit, actually down quite a bit, 2.7%. Surprised that it showed up like this with such strong selling pressure. We could see further downside here. The bearish engulfing that showed up today. COPX also down a little bit, and that has broken the downtrend line. So that's kind of funky that you get such large selling pressure in copper. Although COPX doesn't look that bad and has broken the downtrend line. So a little bit of, I'll say, not information that doesn't agree with each other is what I'll call it. Lithium continuing to go down, looks pretty poor. Looks like we're coming back to that $36 level for a full retest. So that's not done going down yet. We also have REMX that's not done going down. We have a bearish pattern before that, and that's continuing lower. Still looks pretty weak. SPX down just slightly today, and not much follow through from yesterday's selling pressure. So very interesting to see kind of how some of these are all playing out. I would think that the S&P 500 and all these would be a little bit weaker than what they are, but we're in a presidential year, and there is probably people coming in here and buying this, holding it up would be my guess. NASDAQ also way up there, slightly lower today. We do have that bearish engulfing yesterday, so we'll see if there's any follow through or selling pressure next week. And that could start or ignite something if there is. Russell 2000 up a teeny bit. It's holding on decently right now. Still looks like it could try to go up with that bullish engulfing, which is right there. Still looks good. ARE slightly lower, but looks all right. If yields go down, I think this will go up. A lot of this is all dependent on yields, guys. Really is. Emerging markets just holding sideways. If we get yields to go lower, this will extend upward, along with copper, along with a lot of these other assets, along with home builders. It would extend upward if we get weakness in yields. And this is a consolidation pattern here, so get ready for a move to the upside or downside here shortly. Moo, I think Moo looks good right here. I like it right on support. That's where I usually start looking for things. And there's that long-term support that we're on right there. Iron ore, just sideways. Waiting for weaker yields, and looks like it's trying to put in a double bottom. Nickel down just a little bit too, but it's holding on. It's not a big down day. Right on support. Aluminum down just a teeny bit, continuing to leak off, and that does look like it could head a little bit lower. Looks like it's got some momentum behind it, and a bearish setup, bearish engulfing candlestick today. Baltic Dry Index up a little bit, 2%. Looks pretty good to continue higher. So that looks good. We've got Newcastle Coal up a little bit. We've broken through the downtrend line. Sideways to higher is what I think we're going. I would remain bullish, and I have purchased coal assets, and you guys can see it on the website. BTC down 1.23%, right on support. We'll see if that support holds, but we're right on top of it. And that is a bullish formation from this flag pattern. At this time, it doesn't mean it can't break down. And then Ethereum's up a little bit. That still looks bullish. So whenever you see these big buying pressure candlesticks and then the small selling pressure like this coming back, eventually they usually break to the upside. Sometimes they even come all the way back down here, which is possible, but on low volume and very small candlesticks. SMCI down just a teeny bit. It looks okay. You know, I don't normally buy stuff that has gone up this amount in that period of time, but it's holding on. And then Nvidia down 3.22%. This is a reversal candlestick here. We'll see if there's any follow through next week to the downside. Could be a topping pattern, and that would also indicate, if it is, further weakness or something like that in Nvidia, and we'll see if we get that weakness, guys. So that's what I've got for today. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you guys like. We've got a Sunday question and answer session at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Don't forget that it's on Sunday, not Saturday. So that's what I've got for today, guys. So we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.